Hello, and glad to have you here. Today, we're going to talk about rejection, and I just put rejection versus objection because those two words I hear and I keep, trying to figure so what's the difference? Is there a difference? And I have looked this up before and there is a difference, but the words continue to be used, interchangeably. So we're talking about that today, along with what is rejection and what is objection. So that's what we're talking about today. And as you're hopping on, let me know where you're coming in from and what do you think about this topic? Have you had to deal with a lot of this? I know I have, especially in the past, not so much now in doing what I'm doing now, being online and going live. So I haven't dealt with it as much as I dealt with it on, I might as well say, a daily basis when I was building in a different way, when I was building old school. And now I'm building online. I'm doing something new, something different, something that works for me and makes it so that I'm not as stressed and what have you. So as you're doing that, as you're hopping on, and let me know where you're coming in from, let me let you know questions, your opinion, anything that you have would be great. Just chime in the chat box, and I can pull you up and see what you're saying and share it with the others that are watching. And there are a lot of people I know that as you're watching, you can't, just stop what you're doing because you're able to listen, but you can't maybe interact. But that's okay, whether you're watching it live or whether you're catching it on the replay. So what I have here is my notes are on the side screen here on my second screen. So I'm going to read to you the definition that I found that I kind of like this better than some of the other ones that I found, but this is short and sweet. So it says both of these are verbs with a negative sense to them. So rejection and objection, and that's what we're talking about. It says, but they are not the same. And I'm not going to let that, cause me any difficulty. If somebody says rejection and they're, doing a lecture, I'm not going to stand up and say, hey, you need to be talking about, because such and such, I'm not going there. We do that sometimes. We just use words, and we may use them as the same, and it maybe eventually it will change, but it's not something that's that big of a deal for me. It's not a deal breaker. So, all right. So as I said, they both have a negative sense to them, but they are not the same. They are verbs, and the verb object means to disagree with or to oppose something. The verb reject means to refuse to believe, accept, or consider something. So I like that definition. And in that definition, I can see similarities and there's it's like a fine line, for me. So I don't see it as something that I need to be, losing it over or, telling somebody, oh, you're wrong, you need to say it like this, or you need to use this, or you can't use that word, or blah, 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 blah. It's not that big of a deal for me. But it's important to just kind of be aware, and that's what I wanted to do. So that's why I'm sharing the definition, and that's why I read it to you from the research that I did. It was the best one that I had that I really liked. And then I also want to talk about the other part, like I said, is what is rejection and objection. And objection, I also have rejection versus objection. But as I was going through, and like I said, I'm not going to belabor the differences, I'm just going to take it as it is. I wanted to let you know that there are, according to the research that I did, there I mean, and as you keep researching, there's 5 different ways. There's 5 different types. There's 6 different types. There's 7 different types. Well, uh, uh, I found some different types that I just want to let you know about, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm using my notes over here, and these are things that I can deal with, that I've dealt with, and so I just want to talk to you about them real quick. And so, number one, and they're not in any particular order, but it has to do with one of these particular ones. So, either need, urgency, trust, or money. And when we're talking about these things, when you talk about urgency, if there is a lack of urgency, then, whoever it is that you're talking to may not really want to hear what it is that you're talking about, especially if you've already established that this is someone that you talk to, that they do have a need for what it is that you have, because just blatantly pushing stuff on people that they don't need or want, we don't want to do that. I don't do that. I don't want to do that anymore. I've done that in the past. Building the other way that I built was built building the other way that I was building my business, and I didn't. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't like it. It was just an issue for me. And when you start getting sick to your stomach, when you know that you're getting ready to go to work, that's not a good thing. And so I had to make some changes. But that is one of the things. If there is a lack of urgency, then that person may not, after you've established what it is that they need, then they may not want to hear what you have to say, because they're like, yeah, I don't really need this right now. It's not urgency for them. It's not urgent. It's not and then the other thing is lack of need. They don't really feel that they need this right now. If they don't feel that they need it, then they're not going to really be tuning in and listening. Or if they are, when you're done, they're going to say, well, I don't really need this right now. I think this is something that I can wait on, or whatever. And it may not be, but maybe the way that we're presenting it, the way that we're saying it, the way that we're, positioning it may not be enough to let them know that they do actually need this right now, because if they don't make some changes, then they're still going to be in the same place in the next year, in the next 5 years, and so on. And if it's something that's really important for them, then they might start to see it, especially depending on how we present the information to them. The other thing is lack of trust. And when you don't know somebody, I mean, I don't trust people just because they say they are who they are, or just because I mean, the world is so much more different than it used to be. I mean, I'm in my 60s, I'm 66. So back in the day, a person's word was their bond, and that's still the way I feel. My word is my bond. But this world, it just keeps changing, and people are really more, there are a lot of people that try to take advantage and try to trick you. And there are a lot of scammers out there. So people are not going to trust you right off. There has to be a building of growing know, like, and trust. And I'm not going to go into that right now, but that's one of the things that's important. And then the other thing is that they lack money, or there's a lack of money for whatever it is that you have put out there. But these are the 4 things that I saw that actually spoke to me, because these are some of the things that I've had some issues with when people would present things for me in the past, before I ever got into being an entrepreneur or business builder. Oh, and I forgot to introduce myself, so I'll do that right after this point. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Every now and then I do It's rare, but I do forget to introduce myself. So those four things, maybe just think about them. We're gonna be talking about rejection slash objection, this week, and so I just wanted to get the what it was, and that they do use the words interchangeably. I've heard speakers use them interchangeably, as well as, mentors. And, so I, I mean, I don't see the big deal right at this point to change it, because I do see some similarities when I read those definitions. Uh, so basically, the top four for me that I, you know, uh, clicked with were lack of need, lack of urgency, lack of trust, lack of money. Those are the things that will cause people to not want what it is that you have, especially when you have talked to them and they do have a need for what it is that you have, because everybody doesn't. And that's one thing, we don't want to talk to everybody and anybody. So let me introduce myself. Sorry about that. My name is Cherie Woodard, and I help business builders and entrepreneurs to be able to use social media to get prospects, leads, and sales in their business. And I do it in a variety of ways. I use attraction marketing, lead generation, as well as live video, as well as giving updated, trending, and those strategies that are actually, up there, the things that are actually out there now that are working, as opposed to just sticking to old school stuff that didn't work, that wasn't working for me. So basically that is it. You can message me if you have any questions about this. We're going to talk about another part of this objection rejection tomorrow, and I hope you will tune in, and I hope that you will have some questions, and or let me know what your takeaways were from today, and if that cleared up anything for you. So I'm going to get out of here. Take care. Have a good rest of the day, no matter where you are, no matter what time it is for you. Talk soon. Bye now.